one man band. You ain't a man, girl. Let me be.
And we are rolling. Welcome back to the KG Show. We're here on episode 3. Going strong. Shout out if you watched episode 1. Shout out if you watched episode 2. That was probably a rough episode, but we made it through. We living and we learning. Probably won't do 4 people again. That may be a little bit too much dip on my chip. But you remember Corbin from episode 1. And we're back again with the 3rd episode. Our special guest today, a guy I've known for a long time. We played sports together, worked together, did a whole lot of things. Got a lot of cool stuff to talk to. So coming all the way down, I guess from San Antonio, but more recently coming down from Lubbock, Texas. Welcome, Tyler Thurman.
How are y'all?
Good. Being here. How you doing, Tyler?
Good, I'm good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. No, thanks for being on the show on the beginning stages. You're gonna look back on this one day when I'm on TV.
I'm gonna just
yeah. How you been?
I've been good, dude. School's been good. Life's good. Getting ready to go to Colorado, so we're
Colorado.
Oh yeah, the winter trip. So everything's going well.
Skiing.
Yeah. I tried snowboarding. My brother's gonna snowboard. Not a snowboarder.
Not a snowboarder.
We're gonna take skiing.
I'm a fake snowboarder. I have 2 snowboards. Corbin saw them. I got 2 snowboards in 7th grade, 8th grade, and they've never seen snow. They sat under my bed.
It's like that California person. Like, seems so cool. They have the surfboards up in the room. Like, what's up, bro? And they never touch it the whole year.
It's a reminder, like, listen, you're not going to go snowboarding this year, but here's some cool snowboards.
Oh, yeah.
I used to just, like, go in my room, clamp my feet in, and just sit there like, man, it would be real nice. It would be real nice, and I've never taken
It's cool to dream. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool
it is cool to dream.
Live some life. I think as kids, we all kind of dressed up.
What are you, Corbin? Snowboarder, skier?
I've never been.
Never been?
Never been.
Bro, it's so... I've only been once, and it was the funniest thing of my life.
I've never been.
It is fun. I will say that. It's just hard.
It's like longboarding with less consequences. Without the concrete.
I've never been longboarding.
You're just landing on some
you're landing on
thick snow.
Yeah, I don't have good balance, so I try to stay on my own 2 feet.
Oh yeah, I feel that. No, I used to longboard, but I got tired of having no skin on my elbows and my knees. So that was.
I understand that.
Ninja. But yeah, doing that, and then actually, this past semester I was a multimedia journalist for Texas Tech, like Lubbock and Texas Tech sports, and
that's live.
Anything. Oh, it was fun. You sit courtside on basketball games and sit and stand on the field, football, and you take photos, and you just go kind of behind the scenes and around the locker room and journalize, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
How'd you get into doing that?
So I guess our senior at high school, Reagan High School, I did a little thing with Golf Channel where it was like a weekend thing. So the Golf Channel has obviously 2 tournaments here in town. They have the PGA Tour and Champions Tour.
Yeah.
So for the Champions Tour, I got to do like this little internship thing where I'd walk inside the ropes. I had the microphone, I'd radio to the guys here on TV because that's how they find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I got to also go see the trailer where everything happens behind the scenes, and I thought that was so cool. So my freshman year in college at Incarnate Word, after golf season was over, I pursued that route, sports broadcasting and radio show with Incarnate Word Sports and KOW is what they call it.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. I love that. So I continued that. And so when I applied for this job, it's called the Daily Order. That's their newspaper and media. Put that down. They liked it. So I did that this past semester. That was a lot of fun. I have a bunch of cool photos on my phone. For sure, they make cool backgrounds.
Yeah.
But then now I'm actually going to I wrote a college basketball article back in early November that got some good feedback. So I'm going to pursue the journalism side of it, kind of leave the multimedia.
That's real cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. A lot of work though, but it's fun for sure.
But you get to travel. Don't you have to go to like the games and
stuff?
Or?
So I'm sure like that. I know there's people there that definitely do that. I'll it's a new thing for me, so I don't really know what goes on.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of learning step by step. But yeah, those people typically like last year's group, they went to like baseball when baseball went to the World Series or I don't know what you call it in baseball, but the World Series.
World Series.
And
Nobody.
and basketball.
Do you watch? baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watch baseball. I
One
watch baseball to
person.
enjoy it. I love watching it.
I like
But
going
I
to the
don't-
games. The games themselves
Yeah,
are really
no.
entertaining, but watching it on TV, I don't know.
I don't know. I think you got to know. It's like golf. It's like some people say it's boring, but unless you know the players, unless you know
Yeah.
what goes on. But yeah, so that should be fun. We'll fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So
You
try that
were
out.
in California for a little bit. Were you doing that out there too, or?
No, so I was just strictly college golf out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those you don't know, we all played golf in high school and then took our own different
Yeah,
routes.
they were a lot better than I was.
And Tyler was a lot better than I was, so that kind of gives you the power structure.
Shucks. They're talking. So yeah, I was just totally just golfing out there and trying to stay focused in a place where there's beaches, there's beautiful scenery.
Hard.
It was definitely. It's not hard to go play pure golf courses, but it's hard to say, do I want to go practice or do I want to go, drive 20 minutes to Los Angeles or do I want to go 45 minutes south to San Diego? So yeah,
That's
definitely.
the best part about California. Everything, like, you can do everything in this little bitty radius versus like Texas. You're going to Dallas, that's 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like Houston, that's 3. In California, you drive 5 hours, no telling what you can
You can
get into. Like 5 hours one way, you're snowboarding. 5 hours the other way,
Oh, yeah.
you're on the beach or in the middle of the beach, in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the cool part is like, there's an area. I don't know if I'm sure you're familiar. Are you familiar with Southern California?
Yeah.
So I lived in Costa Mesa, but there is an area called Big Bear in the mountains where you can actually theoretically snowboard, surf, and play golf all in one day in California.
Wow.
In that area, from I believe it's from like October to maybe February, my guess. No, I never tried that. I think Coach would kill me if I tried
That's
that.
a whole lot going
But
into the day. I would
but
do it.
theoretically you can because there's snow in the mountains and you can see them and yeah, it's just a little pricey to live there. So I'll come back to
everything
the
just
home
costs
state.
more.
Oh yeah, come back to the home state.
And live lavish in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as like the biggest difference? Like what would be the downfall in California and what would be the downfall in Texas?
No Whataburger in California. And there's no, I'm just kidding.
That's a true Texan for you. Right? This man is born and raised in Texas with that answer.
Oh man, I did miss that though. But no, to be honest, I think when living in different areas in this country, there's different priorities people have. Like when I lived in Orange County, it's a very business savvy place. A lot of business and companies are out there.
Yeah.
So it's very society's kind of a go.
Yeah.
And not to say that people aren't nice. I did meet some great people out there. Met my girlfriend out there and her family. But just an overall vibe. Like in Texas, it's a little more slow paced. People are like, "Hey, how are you? Good. Like, what's up?" And that's just like a normal. If you're going to the store, that happens.
Yeah.
In California, right? Exactly.
Especially
it's true.
in San Antonio.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah.
You really notice like this city is centered around like a family structure. Of course, it's a big military city, so that already is gonna kind of dial things back, kind of hone in the craziness, kind of keeps everybody together. And then everything around that, me and Corbin were talking about this on episode 1. The city, like the schools, you're either in school, a kid in the school system, which takes up a lot of your time, or you're a parent with a kid in that school system, and then everything just revolves around those two things for the majority in San Antonio. So it does make it a real slow pace family environment.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, to be honest, just Southern hospitality is what I missed, and then, it's definitely more prevalent here, and then something that they have that we don't have. Well,
Everything.
the beaches, the nice
and-
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice weather all year round.
Mm-hmm.
No, not too hot, not too cold, unless you're by the water. You get that breeze.
For sure. But what I told people when they would ask me that question is, I said if money is not an issue and maybe it's just you and a spouse, maybe just you by yourself want to go see what it's like, sure, go live there for a few years. Go have fun with it because it's a great place to live.
Yeah.
But if you are a family person, or if you don't want to pay that price, or if you're just happy with your life, and you're like, I don't need extra like a beach or mountains to make me happy, then yeah. I mean, and obviously food preferences come and go.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I tell people is if you're by yourself, have money, go do it. It's fun. It's a beautiful place to live. But if you want to raise family and make sure they have good education, stuff like that, I would definitely stick to like Texas. Not say anything about.
But I feel
California
like
education, but-
Texas is going that direction, if that makes sense. Like, even me, I'm a person from California, moved to Texas, and I know a lot of people from the West who are moving. Oh, that's my alert to go to class. I'm not in class today. I know a lot of people from the West who are moving to Texas. So Texas is like, because people know everything's cheaper in Texas. What you can do with $100,000 living in a little box in California, you can come out here and get a whole house and pay for it like easily.
Oh, ridiculous, dude.
So like you're getting so many people who are moving west and into Texas because it's cheaper. The cost of living is way cheaper, and you can make your money stretch. I feel like you give it some time, with like 50 years, Texas may be in that same.
See, Austin's
true.
already feeling that. That's why
Austin's
Austin's
packed.
vibe is so much different than San Antonio's.
Yeah.
Austin's like a mini California
Yeah, it really
within.
It is, bro. It is,
It really
and
is.
it. No, you're right. Definitely Texas, and you can see it like even in San Antonio when the construction goes on, like there's jam-packed traffic, and people are moving. And companies are moving too. I can't remember who it is, or what it is. Excuse me, but there's a bunch of like car dealerships I think moving to Dallas, and there's Apple's putting a big old plant I think in Austin or something like that.
Yeah.
And people are moving, and I definitely agree with you. I think you give it time, 40, 50 years, and we're kind of be dealing with maybe not as many people, but definitely up there with the people amount, for sure. Yeah.
But we just have more space, right? Texas is bigger than, and it's the way it's situated.
Yeah.
It's not like you got places like the Bay Area and San Francisco. It's this little bitty hot spots that everybody wants to like
Oh yes.
crowd into. So now like San Francisco, I think if you're making less than 250,000, you're below the poverty line,
Yeah.
which is like
Insane.
wild. Like you have to be making millions just to break even living
Oh yeah.
in the city, because everybody wants to live in this little. Because if you've ever been to San Francisco, it's big, but it's really not that big. It's almost like a little island to itself. So like everybody wants to squeeze onto this place with no more land, and it's just the prices are ridiculous. You can come out here and get a couple acres and not have neighbors.
Yeah.
We drove there on the way to the California College State Championship last year. We drove through San Francisco at night, so I got to see some of it. But I'll be going there for spring break for. I'm on a worship team at a church in Lubbock, so all of us are going on like a missed trip / kind of just fun vacation trip over spring break to San Francisco, so I'll be able to see what you're talking about. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, no,
Hop on
I've
the
heard
train.
it's nice though. I've
Hop
heard.
on the train and take it everywhere. Don't even worry about driving. Leave your rental car at home, because you're just going to spend 5 hours of your day stuck in traffic.
Nope.
If you guys aren't staying in San Francisco, I suggest parking, because like you have BART, the Bay Area Transportation.
Uh-huh.
It's the train. If you try to drive into San Francisco, you're wasting your whole day.
I don't know where we're staying,
So,
but I know that we're gonna be a lot of walking.
If you're staying on the outskirts, like outside of the city, drive to one of the BART stations and take the train into the city, and that's gonna save you literally hours, because you will get those roads get so bad because so many people are just trying to come in and so many people are trying to come out, and it just doesn't work. You just been there, done that, wasted a whole day sitting in a car.
True. Don't want to do that. Experienced that enough as it was, especially in like the Los Angeles area, dude.
Oh, Los Angeles,
So many
ridiculous.
So
Too many people.
Oh yeah.
That's why you have Elon Musk trying to build the underground tunnel. I don't know how he was gonna do it, but
He got sued for it.
sued for what? How?
Building without. So whenever he went to the city and told him he was going to do that, he just told him he was putting a hole in his parking lot. Didn't tell him what he was doing with the hole.
That he was actually building.
And then he started building tunnels. And then the city found out, and they're like, "Can't do that."
Elon Musk is crazy. You gotta know
It's
that.
gonna be
suing
like
him for it.
have you seen Incredibles 2, the movie?
Yeah.
That grave digger dude that digs in the ground and drills tunnels.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, you go down there. Whoa.
He has a whole
He's like,
net-
don't
net-
tell
network
anybody.
down there.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, they're also working on like I think it's a gondola, right? The
For real?
that's what I heard. There was articles about it. There was talk, especially from like the Dodger Stadium.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because Dodger Stadium traffic is terrible. Because it's in that, I think it's on the east side of Los Angeles. So you gotta go, maybe it's west. I can't remember. So you gotta go basically like through and then out.
Yeah.
So I know they're working on, I don't know if they passed it, but they're working on getting a system to where it's like right outside of Los Angeles, there's a little area for it, and then you just gondola from like a mountain or hill or parking lot.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard they're trying to do that.
So would that be like a sky subway?
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
That'd be so weird.
That would be weird.
I'd
But they do it in like it's possible
I don't
because they do it. They have it in Colorado, like the
Like in
ski.
the mountains.
The-
But that's different. That's like going up a mountain. How are you gonna do that across the city?
They do it in New York. You can go across the rivers in New York City with those.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, they got them in New
I'm
York.
sure it's not across the whole city. I'm sure it's like just a few blocks away. But either
Yeah.
way, it saves traffic going to the stadium.
Trying to get into that
Yeah.
one little area.
Yeah. But yeah. Saw a lot of cool stuff there. Went to a Spurs Lakers game at Staples in October.
I'm sure
The
that's
OT
crazy.
I
one?
still have yet to be.
The OT one.
Yeah.
Ooh. When Patty Mills made those 2 free throws and the Spurs were up by like 3, and then LeBron missed the last 2 shots or 3 shots and free throws.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, I got out of there as soon as that game ended. I booked it because I was sitting there. So I went with a buddy, and we were watching the game. And 2 guys sitting next to us were Clippers fans. They just went to a Lakers Spurs game.
Yeah.
So like, yo, they literally said we sat down because I was wearing Tim Duncan jersey, black jeans. I wore all black and with my gold jacket. And they told us like, hey, are y'all Spurs fans? And I said, well, yeah. And he said, I would suggest that the Spurs win that you get out of here because people are known to get jumped at Staples. So I was like,
no, that's what we gotta put on the jacket. Is just,
straight up, they're like, I think you should get out of here if they win. It's like, bet. So we were enjoying the game. We were having a lot of fun. Game was almost over. I didn't think about it. And my buddy, Randy, was like, hey, we should probably go. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, no. Because I remember the guys. I looked at the guy, and he's like, oh, game over. And so I was like, so I ran out of there, dude. In the parking at Staples, you got to park. You basically park in between buildings.
yeah.
Because there's like little parking lots. And parking's expensive as it is. But it's kind of those sketchy, like downtown San Antonio has those little parking lots where at night it's like gated and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a little sketchy, especially when everyone is leaving that area. So I booked it. But that was fun. Spurs won. I got to
a drunk dude hating the Spurs.
Oh man, dude. And I got to see LeBron. That was the first time I saw LeBron play. And Lonzo and that crew. So
that was the OG Lakers.
That was the OG of the new Lakers.
The OG of the new Lakers.
Yeah.
Shout out the Lakers now. They're doing pretty good. I think they're gonna win it.
23.
They lost last night to Milwaukee.
I don't count those losses.
Woo!
Giannis.
Giannis.
I get that,
5 3-pointers, I think, man.
but when the Lakers are flowing, they're like the Warriors, but better to me.
They are good. Yeah, they are good.
AD, LeBron,
I wouldn't
Dwight Howard.
I wouldn't say their shooting is as good as the Warriors,
Maybe
but
not.
I would say their physical appearance, they're better than anyone in the league.
You got Rondo like going to work, Danny Green shooting.
How old is Rondo now?
He's 52, 55.
Sheesh, no, he's probably like
Just kidding.
30-something.
No, he's probably in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
Late 30s.
He's getting old for a point.
But he
Yeah.
plays his role and he does
Yeah.
it good. You saw the fake alley oop
Yeah.
to the lake, like that's
I wonder if he had more fun with his Celtics. I'm sure he did.
Celtics definitely.
I think he definitely had more fun with them because I think he had a bigger role there.
Yeah,
But can you imagine on his resume, played for the Celtics, played for the Lakers, played with LeBron, AD, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. Can you imagine like the players he's played with?
he's played with everybody because
That's
he's
crazy.
a good asset. He's a good asset.
You could say that about Chris Paul too. The Rockets, Clippers, and he's with the Pistons. Or who is he with now?
He's with the Thunder.
Thunder. That's right. Well,
Thunder.
shoot. I mean, that resume.
What's your take on Chris Paul calling the techs for like untucked jerseys?
So I think it was like
I
a
respect it.
ref that did that too. I think that's a new rule, or maybe it's been a rule for a while. I'm sure it has, but
Yeah,
they've
it's
never called. And so all of a sudden they're starting to call it, and players like freaking out. It's like whoa. Which theoretically, I mean, you play basketball. I play basketball. Did you play basketball? So we all play basketball. You were always told growing up, tuck your shirt in. So like that was something I did before I went into the game.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure there's players, playing the X amount of games they play, probably don't think about it because it becomes like just habit. And so when they take off the shirt, their warm-up shirt, their shirt probably comes untucked, and like don't think about
but
it.
they're normally walking on and tucking in.
Right, which is fine as long as they're tucking it in. So I don't know about calling the tech. I guess technically as part of your job, like you need to be ready for your job,
Yeah.
so that when you go in the court, when you go in the office, when you go to your meeting, you're ready.
Yeah.
I can understand them calling the technical.
But as far as Chris Paul being the one saying, "Hey, that's the tech," how do you feel about like?
Oh.
I think that's kind of like
that's,
really
that's a little low blow, to be honest with you. That's a little like bro kind of.
because he's done it twice. One was for an untucked jersey, and I think the other
I
one
know he did
somebody
it
was
twice.
like yelling,
Yeah.
and he literally said, "That's the tech," and the ref just it's like, "Come on, you're the player." Like,
yeah.
is it really that big of a? I get
it's
you.
kind of like when Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverly and those guys go at it, and they're trying to nitpick, and I think Draymond Green's done it too. They're trying to do what they can to win.
Yeah.
Now it's very cheap the way they do it. It's very kind of, I guess in golf terms, it's like if someone teed up their golf ball and falls it off the tee, some guys would be like, hey, that's a stroke, and some guys would be like, you're fine, let it go.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends. But I don't know, I'm not going to comment on Chris Paul because that man's making a lot more money than I am.
Yeah,
and he's doing his job, and he's done it
he's
pretty well so far. So, I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a low blow, but again, he's just trying to make sure everyone's following the rules,
I guess, but to me, it's
anything you can do to get advantage, but it's definitely very cheap. I think it's kind of a low blow.
And like tucking your jersey is one of those things you're literally taught that from when you first start playing the game.
I get, but like, okay, you're going through warm ups. They have the nice tight fitted warm up shirts that they put on every time they come on and off the court. So if you're coming off, you take it off as soon as they wait till the last second to take off their shirt. So if your jersey comes untucked and you're stepping on the court about to tuck in your jersey, and someone's like, his jersey's untucked, tech. And they get the tech, it's like, okay, come on now.
Yeah,
that's a little bit petty to me.
I think there's definitely two sides to it. There's your job's supposed to have, but then it's like, okay, dude, let's be realistic.
Is it that
serious? Is it that serious, really?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? A free throw and the ball?
Like, technically, it's not cheating. It's knowing your rules, but it's like, okay, come on now. Like,
Yeah, I understand.
It's kind of overboard to me.
I think it's pretty crazy for sure. But I think the NBA is crazy. College basketball's crazy. Everything's going crazy.
College basketball's on the decline to me. I think it's with all these players. With what's his name from Memphis?
Oh, Jameis Winston or something like that.
In NCAA in general, the fact that these players aren't getting paid, but they're risking injury. Like you have Zion blowing out his what was it, ankle or his knee.
Yeah.
You got in Alabama. You got
Tua.
Tua.
I gotta find it.
Destroying his hip. So you got all these like big time players who have the potential, are gonna go to the league and make a lot of money, ruining their whole careers and their livelihood before they even get a chance to make money. So you get players like the dude from Memphis who is just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna.
Well, I just think the NCAA is corrupt in general because see, like here's my thing is I understand the whole if you transfer late into the transfer period, you may have to sit out a year.
Yeah,
I understand that, but they're also letting people that transferred before the transfer period started not play, and but they don't have a reason as to why they're not letting them play.
Yeah,
it's just like you can't play. Well, why? We're not going to tell you why. We're just saying you can't. That's what happened to that Memphis kid.
Yeah.
James Wiseman. That's what
James Wiseman.
Yeah.
James Wiseman.
It was that, and he had another thing with money, didn't he? And he had to pay a donation.
So he got in trouble because Penny Hardaway, which is their coach now.
Yeah.
When he was recruiting the kid, he promised his parents. Penny promised his parents that he would help them move to Memphis so they could be with their kid.
Yeah.
And he paid them like $150,000 for like moving fees and like helping them with their house, like to move there.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, of course, that's paying a recruit, so that's against the rules. So then, whenever they found that out, the NCAA did an investigation to see how much of that money went actually to the kid.
Yeah.
And it was like $15,000. So that's why they fined him $15,000 to pay to like a charity, so like he would lose that money, if that makes sense. But if he's already spent that money, then
how's he just going?
How's he going to get $15,000 if
right?
he can't work? He can't do anything.
Yeah, they've been paying players for a while now. USC started it with Pete Carroll and that crew in 04, 05. And
it's probably way before that.
Oh, yeah.
The rule got made for a reason. They don't just make rules for the sake of making a rule.
True. That's very true. But I think what you're seeing in college basketball is you're seeing, four number one teams have gotten unranked this year. Texas Tech, by the way, is responsible for one of those, being Louisville.
Duke got knocked
Duke,
off.
Kentucky, Michigan State, and Louisville. Those are all very good basketball programs. So I think what you're seeing is kind of what you're seeing in, I wouldn't say college football as well, but maybe NFL in a way. You're seeing the big name teams. They're still big name teams, but they're not as dominant. Right. Yeah. So you're seeing more of a
spread.
Exactly.
You're kind of seeing that in the NBA now. Like, okay, it was all Warriors for the past 3 years, but I think nature just had to naturally.
It wasn't nature. It was Kawhi. Kawhi started all of that, dude. Kawhi split up the super teams.
No, I think once KD got injured, I think that's what started the like trickling down. KD gets injured, Kawhi goes to Toronto. The Warriors would have won if KD and Klay were healthy.
But Klay didn't get hurt till the end of the games. What was it, 6?
Yeah, in the game 6.
No, he was hurt, but he was still.
I mean, he might not have been
On-
100%.
He wasn't 100% before that point. But if they had all three of the Raptors weren't winning at all. I don't believe so, and I think we would be in a different spot. But the fact that they all got hurt, they lost. The Raptors won. Then Kawhi left the Raptors. I think that's like boom, boom, boom,
Split up the
domino
super teams. Yeah.
effect. Like
Cool.
you have the Lakers, but they're good, but they're not like dominant yet. And you have a bunch of good teams.
If Kawhi had stayed with the Raptors, do you think Kevin Durant still leaves the Warriors?
Yeah, he's leaving no matter what.
Okay, well, let me say this. Kawhi stays on the Raptors. Does PG go to the... PG, did he go to the Clippers before or after Kawhi?
After Kawhi.
After
So
that was
does PG go to Kawhi?
no.
Or the Clippers, excuse me.
No.
So then the Clippers aren't really... I mean, they were a good team
goes,
last year.
PG goes to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And we don't get Anthony Davis. That's what
And
happens.
then Anthony Davis stays in.
Anthony Davis stays in
New Orleans.
New
They
Orleans,
wouldn't like it.
New Orleans.
Well, he wanted out anyway, so he was going to go somewhere.
He was going to go somewhere, but
he wouldn't have gone.
So you
PG was already decided between the Lakers and the Clippers.
You could theoretically say Kawhi is responsible for Paul George, Anthony Davis, and I guess we decided no Kevin Durant. Oh, Danny Green. We forgot about Danny Green is on the Lakers now.
Yeah.
So he could be responsible for Danny Green's departure too. So
'Cause
Kawhi's responsible for that.
he left the Raptors, right?
Yes, he left and joined the Lakers. Signed a deal with the Lakers. I think it's 3 years, $15 million.
Yeah, and he left because once Kawhi leaves, okay, why am I still on this team?
Yeah.
They're not going to win. Let me go join.
Well, they were buddies. They run San Antonio together.
True.
Were they in the same draft class? I think 2011.
Yeah. Yep.
So, those were buddies. But I think I agree. I think the NBA is so many good teams. Rockets just beat the Clippers last night, and the Rockets have beaten the Spurs and Clippers coming back from 20+ point leads or deficits. So, the Rockets, Clippers, Lakers,
Bucks.
Bucks for sure. Then I think the Heat are on the rise. I think you can't sleep on Philly.
Like, you definitely can't
no.
sleep on Philly.
Now that Ben Simmons knows how to make a 3-pointer.
This is crazy.
Which they definitely love to broadcast every single time he does it.
Hey, that's
It's
a
kinda-
big
it's fun.
accomplishment. That's
It
a
is
real
big.
big
It is big,
accomplishment.
but it's funny because it's like every time he makes a 3-pointer, you see it on Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube. It's like this man just made a 3-pointer.
Like
It's
he's a
like-
professional basketball
Right.
player. It shouldn't be. I can make it.
Right. Right, exactly. And then I don't know about the Nets. I think if even when Kevin Durant's healthy,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if did Kyrie play last night against Spurs?
I
Spurs
think
won, by the
Kyrie's
way.
the
No.
Kyrie's part of the problem. I think
Oh.
he's just a time bomb.
See, I'm a Celtics fan, and what he did to the Celtics last year just doesn't make sense.
I don't know many Tennessee people, Celtics fans.
I've got family in Boston.
Oh, that makes 2 of us. So
Yeah.
you watch the Grizzlies at all?
The Grizzlies? No, they're never on TV.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember the last time I saw the Grizzlies on TV.
Yeah.
Ever.
It was probably when they had Zach Randolph, Rudy Gay, Marcus Sol,
Back
that
yeah.
crew. That was a star-studded crew.
This
And
John
Mike
Moran
Conley.
kid is something else. So
John Moran is good for sure. I definitely
He's-
agree. He's pretty star. But yeah,
So who's going first in the draft, the 2020 draft? I think LaMelo Ball going first. I wish Lonzo was still at the Lakers, so LaMelo, even though Lonzo was kind of a bust, but I want LaMelo Ball on the Lakers.
They're gonna have to get rid of-
new dude.
they're gonna have to get rid of Rondo for sure. Caldwell Pope.
Caldwell Pope can go.
They're gonna have to get rid of someone else too, because I'm sure with BBB with his dad, he's gonna want
No,
some
big
money.
baller brands.
they quit. They disbanded
They're
it.
done. That's done.
Well, I'm sure their dad either way is gonna want to
Get
make
it,
sure
yeah.
LaMelo gets some money. He is good. I give the kid credit. He is good. I gave Lonzo credit because of their dad being very active in the media. Lonzo was
Yeah.
pretty quiet, kind of went about his business. I give him credit. LaMelo, I was very critical of because he's more of a talker, definitely out there in the media.
But you gotta remember, like he was young, like
Oh, dude, he was like what 12 when they went viral.
Yeah.
yeah, and
And-
he's in the spotlight growing up. When Lonzo was real big, right before the draft, he was like 16 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, he's a 16-year-old kid with a lot of fame.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being a 16-year-old kid and being known as the coldest basketball player who's 16, who drops 100 points in a game, pulls up from half court. You're going to talk a lot.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
talk a lot. and then you got your brother going to the NBA. You live in
Making
Hollywood. You
millions
drive a
of
Lamborghini.
And no one knows what the other brother's doing. LaMelo.
The other brother messed himself up. He could've-
LiAngelo?
Yeah,
LiAngelo, that's right.
He did that to himself.
Yeah.
Why did you have?
I mean, he
still
got
some-
drafted, but
He did. I don't know where that left off, but so in China, you know everything's safe. Like they told us, if we were to get lost, there's facial recognition across the whole city of Shanghai, and police could find us within 30 minutes.
yeah, that's
We're talking about a city with 25 million people.
That's
That's
scary.
bigger than New York, and they'll be able to find you that quick. Because when you come into the city, the immigration stuff, they're scanning your face.
That's
So
crazy.
if they need to find you, they can come find you. So like that, I'm safe. I know I'm not about to get kidnapped. And then of course everything has a real consequence. So people don't really like do anything bad. Everybody just kind of stays in their own lane. They're real calm. Versus here, like I can go walk around my neighborhood, depending on what I'm wearing, I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get the police calling me, which is the.
You do live in a nice neighborhood.
I live in a nice neighborhood, and I'm a black man. I can't go walking
Exactly.
around in the middle of the night. Even like I was in downtown Houston walking. It was the day before I left to China. I went to go visit a friend at Rice, and I Ubered, but I Ubered to the wrong place, and I had to walk like downtown.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I was sketched out. Like I
Downtown
was
Houston.
turning my back every 5 seconds. Like it was just real sketchy, real dark. And China was like chilling,
Yeah.
like nothing's gonna happen to me. Like,
So I have a
at all.
question.
Huh.
And the Asian people are nice too.
What did the Chinese had the Chinese people seen a lot of black people before?
So we were in Shanghai, so it was a little bit more westernized, or not westernized, but a little bit more progressive.
Yeah.
But still, like, no. So, like, for once, which is another big change, like, it was overall cool to be black for once, if that makes sense. It's hard to describe, but it's a different feeling.
Yeah, no.
Like, you get
It's probably internally.
you get different looks when you walk into stores, and like people are actually excited. They come up, they ask a million questions. They just want to take like
Take pictures with
we,
you.
we would walk around, and we're a big group because we're all coming from it was a group of like 30 of us. So you got people who've never really seen black people before, and then a big group of 30 of them just walking through. So like everybody would just be like, whoa, and they'll start taking pictures and asking for all these questions, and everybody from
That's so
grandma's
crazy.
little kids wanted selfies. So it was like cool. And then when you walked into the shops, because you walk into these small hole in the wall shops, everybody was like crazy nice and understanding, because I don't speak the language. That's a hard language. So I'm trying to order food, and it's terrible trying to order food. Food's great, but it's so hard to order food. But everybody was like so nice and understanding. And then that brought me back to like, you ever been in a place where somebody else, like here back in the States, where someone's speaking like Spanish or a different language, and they're trying to order, and like the waiter's getting mad, and blah blah blah. It brought so much
I wouldn't
more
say mad. I'd say impatient.
impatient.
Yeah.
It brought so much more like understanding to that whole situation, because I had to navigate. I couldn't read no signs. I couldn't communicate with most people. Now I understand how people feel when you really can't. Like, it's hard to live when you can't communicate basic language.
So when I went to the UK, the main thing I noticed about the food was that, like, first off, the portions are completely different.
Yeah.
Like American, like if you order food in America, your portion is just ginormous. They give you so much food. But then, like when you go to these other countries, they give you small amounts of food because you don't need that much.
Yeah.
And then also, in the UK, they don't use salt as an ingredient.
That's good.
That's healthier. Yeah.
way healthier.
It's
not
good.
used-
I
but
did
the
feel
food-
healthier while I was
But the
eating.
food is like it's just bland. Like it has no flavor to it because we're so used to the salt. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
We're used to all like the extra stuff that makes it taste good, but
Exactly.
not
But
good for
not
you.
be good for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Everything in China was like a home cooked meal. Like everything
Yeah.
from breakfast, lunch, dinner, quick snacks. I was eating like fresh soup, fresh ramen, chicken, pork, and everything was also family style. Like you don't go places and just order like, this is my food. I'm gonna order my plate. You go to a place with like 4 people,
Right.
and you order like a bunch of different things. So that's how you got to try it a whole lot.
And
But
you
they
just
eat
share
family
it all.
style, so you have like all the different plates with a round table, and you just eat.
That's so cool.
It wasn't
That's
very.
cool.
It's a very inclusive like culture. Like they value like friendships very closely. So you just like eat together, you do everything in like a,
That's awesome.
Well, it's a very family oriented like culture. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, kind of like Hispanic culture, very family oriented, very
Yeah.
kind of
Very
close together,
close-knit. Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I know that makes for big homes. Like a lot of people in one home, but it's cool that they're close.
Yeah.
Some people.
I think it's cool, but also like I need my personal space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I want to do things on my own sometimes, if that makes sense. But it just kind of depends on my situation, I guess.
I
It
agree.
varies.
I think we all need some personal space, but in terms of like, I think that's why you have a bedroom. But in terms of seeing your family, I think it's more convenient definitely having grandma, grandpa, cousins, everyone in one house.
And that's like something we don't really do anymore. Like you
No.
see the trend now. Everybody's you're going off to college. You're moving. Your parents moved away from their parents, and you're seeing your like actual family, your blood relatives are spread out.
But see,
Pretty
that's
sparsely.
That's what we were talking about in the first episode. Was like, when I moved here, like Tennessee is a place that you live in one place, everyone stays there, and you don't move until you die.
Yeah.
So like it's just kind of, I think society's just growing as a whole, so everyone's trying to learn new things, see new things, and just be, I guess, different.
The ability to be mobile
Yeah,
Yeah.
is like
It's changed
changing
a lot of
a
things, yeah.
whole lot.
because anybody can get in a car as long as you can get money for gas. You can get in a car and you can go anywhere. All roads connect somewhere.
Hop on a plane or get a new job halfway across the world. Next you know you're living across the world.
Yeah.
Go to university in a whole nother state.
Yeah.
So like the mobility comes in, you're just moving everywhere, which then spreads you apart. There's no longer just staying in your hometown with your family and everybody living down the street and all that. It's just changing. I think it's just a change in culture and
Well, that's why. I mean, that's why people are spread out because job requirement, location of job. Nowadays you hear like you look at how society is changing from in 100 years. You go from where the wife and the kids could stay home and dad could work to now both parents are working.
yeah.
Kids are doing their own school and they're not at home being schooled. No, they're at home schooled. Don't get me wrong, but you're seeing more of that because it's expensive to live life and you gotta both people essentially gotta work unless you got a very wealthy spouse. But you're seeing times of change. There's job requirements are more hours. Or longer drives. There's different circumstances, and so you can't really see the honey, I'll see you later, and she takes care of the kids the rest of the day. You can't really.
Yeah.
I mean, again, there are exceptions to everything, but I think like you said, the reason there are cultures like that where family you can all live in one place is obviously their government's different, but it's mainly one, maybe two people working that provide for the whole family. And so I think it's just different culture, different lifestyle, but I would say United States is definitely more fast paced than some other countries. So
Way more. Or I wouldn't even say fast because those streets, oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, so you have
50 million. It's the population of the United States on one corner.
do you know how there's a stigma that like Chinese people can't drive? It's not that they can't drive.
It's just there's so much.
It's that there's so many differences in the way they drive there versus the way like we drive here. Like I couldn't make that switch. I could not go to China and drive and vice versa. That's why people can't when people move from China and try to drive, that's why you think they're driving like idiots, but they're literally driving how they like their infrastructure.
I mean,
China's
just slow driving like.
China is a developing country, but their infrastructure, such as their roads and stuff, are very, very high tech. Like they wouldn't do anything dumb like 1604 and make a 2-lane major highway.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything they have is very high tech from the stoplights and all that, but they still kind of run like a third world country. So you have cars, you'll like see a light turn green, and you'll see cars coming from all different angles, and they merge like effortlessly. Like they'll just be crossing each other like this. You're like, how are they doing that without getting bicycles, scooters?
That's crazy.
I've seen those videos on.
I think it might be my phone. I put it on Do Not Disturb.
Why does it sound like it's vibrating on the table?
Anyways, you see those videos on like Instagram, social media where, like you said, they're merging effortlessly. It's like it looks kind of cool. It's kind of satisfying to be honest with you because it's like vroom 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 vroom, and they're all kind of one single file line. So I think like
you could like stand in the middle of the street and they wouldn't hit you.
No.
I don't know how they drive. Like, and everybody's so kind. They're like, just let people go. And in the States, honking horns, road rage, traffic. But it's cool to see that like cultural difference. Like it gives you a better understanding of the like world. Like, okay, I get like it's easy if you like stay in one location and think all people think the same way, and like this would be a common sense.
Right.
Like, you can have an opinion on something and think everybody should have the same opinion, and then you get to see people on the other side of the world, and you realize, okay, like people are really different. Like
I mean, just the UK itself is completely different culture. Like we rented a car in the UK, and that was just teaching my dad, like, because I don't know how to drive over there. I've never been there, but I had to teach my dad how to drive over there. So like me trying to learn it and then teach it to him is difficult. And like driving on the wrong side of the road in the first place,
it's already crazy.
Like,
sure, grab a lager at the pub.
Yeah, like it was insane. And like we were driving 6.5 hours just through this green countryside, and then you go through some trees, and then you'd open up and it's like the second biggest city on the island. It's just like, whoa, like you would have never known.
I need to go to Europe.
I know, I want to go to Europe so bad.
If y'all go, let me know. I'll go.
I've heard the food is. I know the food's definitely healthier, but like the food, the wine, I definitely want to go to experience that for sure.
It's fun.
It's something I'm gonna put on my list once I get my guap up, get my real job. I'm trying to find. I want a job where I can just travel for like 5 years. I'm gonna pick up a random job.
Work for the Travel Channel.
Duh.
True.
I'm just kidding. You could be like taste testing foods.
Video. Travel Channel.
There you
Hopefully
go.
it'll be my own videos. You never know.
Yeah. George Brumfield, welcome to Taste Testing
Welcome
Scorpions.
to. I really just wanted to travel the world, so
Taste testing scorpions. Yes, that's it right there.
I don't know. Maybe like
We're going to China. You get like autographs everywhere, pictures. This is
I
what my
had-
life is like. It's lavish.
I had the best chicken I've ever had in my life. Like it was down this back alleyway. Like okay,
Great.
Great. But it's in China, so you're safe.
but back like that's another thing. Like you think back alleyway in the States, you're like, no, I'm not going.
You're like
Back alleyway in China are families sitting out.
It's like
and
different
eating,
shops, right?
Different
Yeah,
shops,
like you see in
different
movies.
places to eat, family-owned restaurants, kids running around. That's like their like main hub inside of their neighborhood.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
you're thinking like, okay, I'm not going down this back alley, but you actually start walking down. And you're like, okay, this is like a very calm, like safe environment. Like everybody's just shopping, buying their fruit, buying this. When we were buying chicken by the pound, or not the pound. What's the metric? Kilogram.
Yeah.
We were buying chicken by the kilogram. Oh my goodness, it was the best chicken I've ever had in my life.
Really?
You just buy it in bags and just with a stick and just walk down the street and eat it. It was once you like don't do tourist things. Like if I travel, I don't want to do tourist things. Like me and my friend would just throw some waters in my backpack, passport, and some cash, and just start walking.
Yeah.
And we walked through these neighborhoods. You were meeting people, and then we stumbled upon. It was Friday night in Beijing. We heard music, so we just started following the music.
Mm-hmm.
We stumbled upon this like plaza in the middle of this neighborhood, and there's literally like 4 different DJs, and everybody from little kids to the old people. You have like an EDM DJ and people dancing, hip hop DJ, people dancing. It was like one big club.
That's awesome.
That included everybody. It's all outside. You had kids playing basketball, old people doing like classical dance, all in like one location.
That's so cool.
That's
It's
awesome.
like wow, like everybody's just like minding this their Friday night, just chilling,
awesome.
happy. Once they saw us, everybody was like, "Oh my god!" It was just two. It was just two of us. We were playing basketball. I have videos of it. It's like the kids didn't even have basketball hoops. It was a little bitty sign, like 4 feet high, and they would throw it in the gap between the sign and the ground.
Dang.
They're just playing basketball.
That's crazy.
Happy as ever.
Make
That's
something
crazy.
out of nothing, man. You'll have a lot of joy in life. You do that.
I was like, one day I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna put a basketball court right here. You lie.
That would be so much fun. That'd be cool. Be really cool. Different environment for sure. That's a cool experience for Did you ever go to show you Great Wall? Did you ever go to the Great Wall of China?
Yeah, that was Great Wall of China is a
Yeah.
workout. It was
I've heard, dude.
120 flights of stairs to the top. That's how much we climbed. The section you don't realize. I always thought the Great Wall of China was like on a ridge line, like going across.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
kind of go up there and just kind of walk across the top of the mountain. No, like it's going. You're like hiking upstairs, but you're not like walking forward on stairs. You're literally like stepping up. Each stair is like that long or that tall, and you're just going like literally at one part. If you're scared of heights, when you're going up those stairs, you're like, okay, this is sketch, like,
Yeah.
because those stairs are so steep because it literally just goes up the side of
I'm
it.
surprised I haven't had any people like get hurt or injured or something.
Oh,
No,
sure they
you definitely like it's so easy to you could fall, and once you start falling in some of the sections, you're not gonna stop till you get to the bottom, and it's a workout.
For sure.
It's
I'd be
a
like Poe
workout.
from Kung Fu Panda on, I think it's number 1, where the temple, everything's up top. He's gonna go all the way up. He goes like number 3, falls down. 6,
No,
falls
that,
down.
that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
I stop after 10 and be like,
Only 9 of us made it to the top.
what?
Like all the athletic people who were somewhat in shape and could take some endurance and
They
get their
fell
heart
and
rate
died.
up.
Just kidding.
So
Everybody else just had to stop.
I
Like there
would
was
have gone
different
up like
levels.
3 steps and just hung out.
You probably could have made it. You could have
think so?
made it. Yeah. We just
This
had
man's
some out of shape
Yeah.
people. We had some real out of shape people.
Um,
But no, it was. But okay, and then you realize like why the Great Wall eventually like failed. Yes, it worked, but so you're standing at the top and you can see another peak all the way down the 120 flights of stairs you just walked up and all the way back up to the other side. So say someone's getting attacked way over there and you got to move troops from one side to the other.
they got to go up and down those stairs.
They got to go down 120 flights of stairs and they go all the way back up the other side of the mountain. So by the time they get over there, not only did that take a bunch of time,
And
they're tired.
Yeah.
So it's like now you see where it was a good idea, but
wasn't planned out.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could only work so much because trying to move people, like those stairs is something like you can't put in perspective until you do it. Like it's a ridiculous amount of steps, and we were only doing this little bitty section, and the Great Wall goes all the way.
Is there an
across
easier way to get up there? Do they have like other areas? Like, what if you're handicapped and want to go up there? Do they have like not an elevator, but is there a way to get up there other than walking on showy floors or steps?
Like the first section is steep. Or I'm not sure. So we went to the one in Beijing, but I know like of course the Great Wall runs across the whole top of the country. So there's probably different points within the wall that you can go to, and some points may be easier than the others.
Mhm.
But the one we went to, the like first section right off the bat was like probably one of the steepest, and you're just climbing up.
So how wide is it?
It's pretty wide. It gets narrower as you go up. So it probably starts a good like 5-6 feet wide. And then you reach levels where they have like the little huts.
Oh,
And then it'll get widened out. Like they have gift shops. I would hate to be the dude who has the gift shop.
those
at,
are
like,
gift
the third-
shops in those little huts?
on like the third level. Like
Oh, rip.
you imagine have to go up there all day, every day.
Be
but-
fit. Tell you what, you get all the rice.
no,
and all
legs
the
are
stuff
your
you
legs
want.
will be strong. So
How they
And-
get stuff up those stairs? Carrying
exactly
It's
carrying
gotta be a helicopter. There's no way. You can't.
carrying it.
That's
Dang.
crazy.
Like the temples, those big old temples where like the old, I don't forget what they call them, not the kings, but-
Ninjas.
no, not the ninjas. Whoever the dude was, the like, what do they call it in China? The people who run the dynasties,
Like,
Oh, like emperors.
the emperors, were
Yeah, yeah.
ginormous, like just ridiculously big. This doesn't even make sense how big they are. Like, Chinese were very advanced way back.
They
in
were
the day.
dominant, dude. They were a dominant military back in the day. You know, way back in the day. You ever see those? I would watch the show. I can't remember what it was, but it was on his channel, and it's where it would be like they would take 2 warriors from any time to be like the Spetsnaz versus the Green Berets, and they would do like different.
I've seen
It was
that.
like battle where they.
Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah, Deadliest Warrior. So much fun.
Good
That's
show.
such a cool show.
Good show.
But they did like the emperors, and they did it behind the scenes where like there's underground like funeral homes, I guess, or like what do you call it?
Yeah.
Graves, underground graves, where like the soldiers are like standing lined up, the concrete,
The
like
terracotta soldiers.
yeah.
I didn't get to see that. That's what I want to go.
That would
back
be
and
so
see.
cool, dude. I'd definitely want to see that. And like they all protect the emperor in the middle, and there's like they're lined up.
Yeah.
That's so cool,
That's crazy.
dude. That's crazy for sure. I think that scared me. I mean, that walking down there, I know it's all fake and stuff, but you see all the movies where like they're booby
No,
trapped.
that is real.
I bet you there's booby traps. I bet you it's legit.
I bet you there was. I don't know if there is now. Because it's just been
There's real
excavated
security
so
guards,
much.
yeah.
But I'm sure at one point there was. Could you imagine finding that? Like what would you...
First you'd be like, "Oh,
Someone had to find it
and
for it
freak
to
out
be a museum. Someone had to find it.
Yeah.
and freak out. You walk in, you see a bunch of just statues of soldiers in a big old underground room.
Yeah, I'd be like, no.
You know, let me turn around. This
I don't want to go in.
seems bad. It seems like there's ghosts out here.
Did you learn how to use chopsticks while you were there?
Yeah, I actually got real good. Like
Really?
really good at chopsticks.
I
I was
still can't use
just.
Dang.
It was funny. They would see us struggling like the first couple of days, and they're like funny people. They have some humor to them, and they'll bring like a whole fistful of forks and be like, "Here, use this. You've been struggling. You've ate like two noodles, and you've been here the whole time."
I'm decent, but I'm very good when it comes to putting the little plastic thing at the end that holds
Yeah.
it together.
Oh yeah, the rubber band at the top.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's classic.
They did not have any of those. It
The
was
classic.
straight just the one thing I couldn't get used to. The one thing. Toilets.
Oh, I've heard.
Aren't
they ground level?
Yes, it's just
Oh.
like
You sit underground.
it's just a
Oh
hole.
my goodness.
It's like a little bowl in the ground. You put your feet on the side. It's just a hole. You just gotta squat. And I physically just like could not do it. Like there was one day we were out and I'd take a shit. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Because we eat the cafeteria. Oh my goodness.
Good food.
At the university.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, was this study abroad?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. That's cool.
At the university, the cafeteria was crazy, like wild. So we're there all day. We're eating good. It's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, bro. We would come back to those little holes. I was like, this.
This is weird.
Do you sit on the ground or do you just hover above it and squat?
Well, you're not trying to put your butt on the ground, so you're like squatting and like you have your feet on the ground. You just squatting
You don't
all the
put
way
your
down
butt
to
on
your
the
ankle.
ground?
No, there's no. You put your butt on the ground, like it's a toilet. It's still a toilet. It's not just a hole. So it's like it gives you
Oh,
places
there's no
to
like toilet seat, so it's just
There's
like,
no toilet seat. It puts
Yeah.
Oh,
two places to put your feet, and then it's a dentin with a toilet, and then like the water goes
Hold
down.
on, you're trying to. Hold on. I gotta think about this. Because there's no way to relax and like. Just,
No, that's the thing. There is no way to
That's how
relax.
you
So
do it.
I'm sitting there like clenched.
That's so
I'm
weird.
sitting there real clenched, like trying to just hold like my muscles are tight. I'm trying to hold myself up. Like, how do people do this? And it just wasn't working.
Oh,
I found all the spots that had normal toilets, and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna just keep finding these." But like that's the one thing I think I couldn't get used to, or it would take so long. Just
That's crazy.
holes in the ground.
So back to the chopsticks. Whenever you go to a restaurant, like, do they give you a pair of chopsticks like they would like a fork
Yeah.
in the U.S.?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Most wouldn't have forks, or they like if you asked, they might have brought them out. But for the most part, they just gave you chopsticks right off the bat. But it's like the food wasn't too hard to eat with chopsticks.
I actually
That's crazy.
got decent at them last year in California because I live with a Korean man and his son, and they're really cool. Koreans are very, very nice people. But there's also a lot of Asian restaurants in Irvine. So I got good at using chopsticks, and they were like very like I didn't know that they made them, but it's not just like standard wood ones that you can go buy. They're like nice, like very like almost like plastic, but it's a
I know
nice
it's-
plastic,
and they're like,
and like artsy,
reusable and stuff.
yeah, but they're like nice and artistic, and it's like this is really cool. And they have like ridges in the bottom, so it's easier to grab food. I'm like, this is how you do it.
Yeah, no.
Like that's a lot easier.
the real deal chopsticks.
The real deal chopsticks. Those are cool. And they're fun. Makes for a challenge. When I'm hungry, I'm like, oh, give me the fork.
Yeah.
I don't know how they.
Yeah, I was still trying to eat a
I
lot.
know. I was like, how do you, because we're so used to getting a spoon or fork and just piling stuff on top of it, and just
Yeah,
there it's like.
a little bit at
I
a
know.
time, one piece at a time.
Right. But I think that's back to what Corbin said. Is in the United States we eat a lot. And we
Yeah.
have a lot. Over there, it's like small portions is
Take your
good.
time.
Right. take
Small
your time.
portions combined with
Probably why
more
we're so
active
obese.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like we walk everywhere. Of course, if we're going a far distance, you have to get on the train.
Yeah.
But you have to walk from the hotel to the train station, down all those stairs, in the train, getting out the train, walking up, going to the restaurant. You're
Mhm.
always walking. Even if we took the bus, like it's an active lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you're eating less, you're eating healthier, and I actually like the fact that you're moving around, like having to actually walk out the hotel in the morning, down the street, and then go get my food, and
Yeah.
hop on the train, take the train to the university, walk through the university. Like that was fun to me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed moving.
What was the hotel like? Was it nice?
So the first hotel was close to the university, so we weren't in like a. You can go to China.
Yeah.
And be in a most westernized United States hotel and never get the Chinese experience.
Yeah.
Or you can go to China and actually be in China.
Yeah.
So our hotel was more in the neighborhood because we wanted to be close to the
Yeah.
university. It was nicer than I thought. You had people complaining like
Yeah.
some people are just spoiled.
Yeah.
We're in China. Don't expect to have a 5-star hotel with perfect everything.
Especially when you're
Well, you're going for the
abroad.
experience though too. I mean,
It's
you
have to
can have that
experience-
5-star hotel. You can go live it, lavish, but
You're
well,
not
You have
experiencing.
for experience. That's why you're over there in China in the first place.
But the rooms we had the rooms were huge. It was twin beds. It came with a living room, nice like glass stand up shower in the middle. I'm not saying it was a perfect hotel. I know it wasn't perfect. The hotel lobby smelled like cigarettes, but I got past that. Like people smoke in China. People smoke a whole lot in China.
Yeah.
But like you get past that. The second hotel we were in Beijing, night and day difference. That was a westernized, most American hotel in the world. Once you walked in, once you walked in, you just forgot you were in China.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Like I could have been at the Marriott.
Marriott.
No difference. But hotel was cool, but just walking through the neighborhoods, just with the normal people, there was this little mall. Right down the street, we used to go to the mall, just eat there, a whole bunch of food, best food. Like that food is, oh my goodness, to die for. And then like little spots with the people our age. There was a bar where they all hung out, play games. Like, no, it was a real cool experience. It changed my perspective on like life in general and kind of the way I think about stuff. Like
That's cool, dude.
bigger problems, stuff that we just find ourselves complaining about for no
That's
reason.
what the UK did for me as well.
It's like, okay, I can get past it. It's not a big deal.
It's the different lifestyles. It's like what we were talking about earlier. Last year around this time, my girlfriend and a bunch of her friends went to Rome, Italy, and it's basically kind of like what China in the aspect that the food's healthier, the gluten's healthier. It's just healthier in general, and then you're walking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a walk. So eating better, maybe not eating as much. I don't know about the portions.
Yeah.
But it's healthier. That's why they can eat all the pastas and drink all the wine and all that kind of stuff and still be healthy.
Be good,
Still
yeah.
be somewhat And like I said, it's. I think it all comes back to this. United States is just such a fast-paced place, and we always have to go, get where we need to get and go, and we just aren't. Maybe other places aren't modernized, or maybe other places just. I mean, whatever works. But it's definitely cool. I haven't gotten to experience that yet to where I go over there overseas and seeing that. I'm sure that's really kind of like, whoa.
That's like the downfall of advancing in technology and like quality of life. Once you like keep making them steps to where you're no longer worried about finding your next meal or hunting for food or growing stuff. Yeah. Once you have that free time, I can just go to the store and buy food because they made all the like processed food and grocery stores and Amazon Prime. That opens up so much extra time in your day. Like you're allowed to like just do other things. Like if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So it gives you more stuff to complain about just because you can. The food's more processed in the world. You don't have to walk anywhere. Like in San Antonio, we don't walk anywhere. We get in our car and walk from the parking lot to the front door of whatever building we went to.
Yeah.
No walking. No. If you don't want to exercise, you don't have to.
Well, But I feel like if we all lived downtown in lofts and everything that we needed in our life was downtown.
Still, but our downtown is still not.
That's true.
As easy to get around. Like,
Yeah.
even if we had a loft downtown, getting to HEB and back or just finding a store is not as common as. Yeah. It will be harder.
Yeah. They just building HEB in downtown, by the way.
I think I saw, or maybe that's the headquarters. I saw something.
It's not too big, but it's still nice, and they built one. But yeah.
There you go. We wouldn't have to leave.
Yeah. Just walk 15 minutes around downtown.
I think public transportation should be like a bigger thing.
In San Antonio or in general?
In general. Even in San Antonio, like have you seen 1604 at 5 o'clock? Have you tried to get around San Antonio between 4:30 and 6:30?
Just don't try.
You just can't move. There's like
Yeah, people will say like, "Oh, San Antonio traffic, not as bad as Los Angeles, not as bad as Austin." Well, it's bad because
everybody wants a car.
we may not be as big as those places, and we're under construction, so there's only like 3 highways.
We have
Yeah.
a main highway that loops around the whole city that is 2 lanes wide.
Yeah.
Pretty
And it's
much.
under
That
construction
everybody
consistently.
uses. That everybody uses.
That's one thing I did like about
It's always
California.
under construction.
The highways in California are like 6-7 lanes, no joke. That's one thing I did like. Is traffic could be. I do love that about over there, the bigger lanes, and granted they have a lot more people, but still like 7 lanes is better than 2.
Yeah, way better than 2.
Oh, definitely.
Even if
in
that left lane's a
Houston-
turn lane, you're
Yeah, even in Houston, you still have the
still
5,
like
6
4 or
lane.
5 lane, yeah.
Yeah.
And that left one is a fast lane. That's what they have. So like fast track, it's like if you have more than 2 people, you can get in that lane. So essentially, everyone in that right lane is 1 person car. But I think that's really cool how they do that. Is you can kind of see how many people travel by themselves to work and how people commute. And I think it's cool. It was like, oh wow, so me and all these people in these 4 or 5 lanes. It's just them and that car. And everyone else is multiple people. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool, kind of just visually.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, this is crazy. How many people, and maybe if you had this 50 years ago, how many couples would you see driving? How many one cars? I think it'd be flipped. You have more
Yeah.
people,
More
driving
people
families,
in groups.
and less
Cars are
individualized.
less
I think-
affordable, yeah.
And
Well, yeah,
people they're so spoiled. Like, okay, I have to have a car. I have to take my car to work, and you kind of have to because the way everything's set up and
right,
spread
society.
out. But if things were put together better and not as spread out, it would be easier to hop on.
I think if big cities and layouts of cities were built before cars were, then things would be completely different.
Because when I mean public transportation is so smooth,
Yeah.
and like it kind of gets a bad rap here. Like, oh, we're taking the bus. Oh, we're doing that. But like, if we had a good public transit, like how they built that Via bus station at
Yeah.
the top of 281. Imagine instead of that being a bus station, because no
It's a
one's gonna
subway
ride the
station.
bus, it's a subway station, and so you have San Antonio, the big circle. They built the subway station up here.
Yeah,
What if they built subway stations all the way around, like other big cities
Yeah.
in the world? And so you could start from the outskirts. Everybody doesn't have to drive their car into one location. And you can take the subways into a linking them, changing lines.
Yeah.
And you can go anywhere within that circle from the subway. You can take it downtown. You can go to Lock and Terror. You can go hop on the train, take 15 minutes worth of a train ride. Boom, you're in
Yeah,
Lock
come
and
on.
Terror.
Yeah.
we do have a train system. We do have a rail system in San Antonio. It's above ground, but we do have it that you can take it from here to Austin, from here to Houston. I don't know about Dallas, but you can.
Yeah.
I've gone and
We
that's
do-
Austin before.
We need a speed train too. Imagine having a speed train from Austin, Houston,
Like Hunger
San
Games type-
Antonio, Dallas.
Hunger
Like,
Games type stuff where it's all nice and they have like food and then she goes, boom, a bullet train. That's what it's called.
Well, I mean, in the UK, we stayed in this place called Inverness.
Yeah.
It's in Scotland. It's like like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
It's a city that's on the outskirts of that lake. It's in the very northern Scotland. Like when we stayed there, I told myself I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay up until the sun goes down. Well, the horizon never got dark. That's how far north it is.
What?
Like there was just always like I'm not gonna say the
That's
sun
crazy.
was out.
Yeah.
But, like there was always
Some light.
it looked like sunset all the way through the night.
Yeah.
And then it just came up on the other side. Like it never got 100% dark. But anyway, so we took a bullet train from there to London. It took us an hour and a half. And it's like a 6.5 hour drive.
Exactly.
And it was
Yeah.
$20 a person, first class. All you can eat food, all you can drink.
Now
It's just-
imagine if we can just take a train up to Dallas real quick for it.
Yeah.
It would only take an hour. Really.
You'd have to build that though. That's a lot of rail
It's
systems.
getting people to give up the land for that track to
and
go
then the
straight up.
subway in Britain, or not in Britain, in London, if you decided to drive your car, you get taxed based on how many miles you drive inside London.
What?
It's like for every mile you drive in
Anti-driving.
London, it's like 3 pence or whatever, which is like a cent.
Yeah.
So like for every mile, it's an extra 3 cents on top of your gas price.
Nice.
Oh wow.
That's why the train there is so like the subway there, it's called the Tube, is so popular. Yeah. Like if you take a taxi, you have to pay the extra fee on top of how much the taxi fee is.
Jeez.
That's crazy, dude.
I'm gonna hop on the train. I think when we were in China, we used like the amount of money we spent on the train or the subway per week was probably like $7, and we
Sheesh.
went
Everywhere.
everywhere. Like every day, we were just we're out of class. Go. Like go until 2 a.m. Go back, sleep for a couple hours, go to class. As soon as we get out of class, train, and like never had to drive a car, never got everywhere we needed to. And their system is so like complex, and there's so many. You can get to a specific It's not like you have to go somewhere and then keep walking.
Yeah.
You can get to a pretty specific location quite fast, and that would be so helpful here.
I don't think you'll see it in our lifetime because it'll take like 10 years to build, 15 years to build, and they have to go underground, excavate it all, and you gotta do this under buildings that are active buildings. I don't think you'll build right.
And you gotta wait. A lot of people don't want to, so you have to wait till all those people.
I think San Antonio's too spread out for civil service.
We don't need it right now.
I think it
man.
could work.
We're still expanding into like Bernie area and outside. Like we have a lot of room that we can expand.
Like I think it would work, but I just don't think that it's centered enough. Because like all these sub cities are going to make it so difficult. Like Alamo Heights is going to say, yeah, we don't want a station, and you can't build on our land. So then they're going to have to somehow go around it. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just going to make things just so much more
and then
difficult.
Like Johnson City, Alamo Heights, Stone Oak. You have
exactly. All these sub cities aren't going to.
Stone Oak's really no, I don't want to.
Exactly.
They barely wanted the bus.
Exactly. So
really.
Yeah, they fighting the bus for like since I first moved here. Like you know how the bus runs up Stone Oak Parkway like past Reagan in front of Guero's?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fought that forever. Like they did not want the bus, and
Just
that's just because
They
public transportation gets the bad rep.
Yeah.
That it gets here, because here, if you're up of a middle or higher class, you don't ride public transportation. You drive a car. Which in other places, your class has nothing to do with
like in New York, you could see a Fortune 500 CEO of a Fortune 500 company. He's riding the subway to work. Like it's just how it is.
That's just how you
Because
get
that's the way you
Boston that would be stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
I think
Boston
the traffic just would have to get that bad in Texas, which is 100 years.
I was saying you won't see it until we're being forced to build up, which we are not.
We're not at all.
I think Austin will be the first to get a public transportation system.
Austin. For sure.
Yeah, definitely Austin.
Yeah, Austin, and then maybe Houston, or I could go Dallas.
Dallas, because Fort Worth.
Dallas, yeah.
We need the trains like Europe. Okay, if we're not talking in city, but city to city in Texas, because that distance is ridiculously long. We need the trains in Europe. You can drive your car put your car on the train. So now I'm taking an hour trip up. So
it's like Dallas. A ferry, but on a train. That's cool.
And then I could still have my car in Dallas.
That'd be a lot of liability though, but that'd be really cool if they did that. That would be really cool.
Just follow the models, because I've seen it in Europe.
Yeah, they didn't have it in the UK, but they do have it in Europe. Yeah, I've seen that.
Hop on it, take your car up, because it's not like you can just get dropped off in Dallas and get around.
Yeah.
Gonna take my train to the old town Dallas. Ride the train and get off.
Little Nas.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think that'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting. I think we won't see it in our lifetime, maybe, or maybe not our kids' lifetime, but after them, maybe. Because it would. I know people are moving to Texas very fast and rapidly.
Yeah.
But the problem is Texas is so big.
Yeah.
You can move to Texas and not make a single impact as far as like buying a house at
because there's new houses being built every day.
I know, and it's literally like the width of Texas is a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
The height of California is an 8-hour drive. Just to give you guys perspective, you flip California and that hours wouldn't.
Texas is just huge.
It is very big.
And then it's so if we were to drive from South Padre to
Panhandle, nowhere.
Like Oklahoma, that's a 8-hour drive, 9-hour drive?
Yeah.
Well, from here to El Paso is like 8 hours. So from here to Houston's roughly 3 hours. And that's about 45 minutes from the end of Houston to Beaumont. So that's why I'm getting like 12 hours. But that's great. I mean,
like South Texas to North Texas.
From here to Amarillo's 8 hours. And you go, Amarillo's pretty much up there on the Panhandle.
Yeah.
But even then, it's probably probably like an hour, if that. So it's still like 9 hours north.
And then we're 5 hours from South Padre.
Exactly, man.
It's just...
So I got Port A.
It's huge.
Port A. I went senior year, spring break.
It's a classic.
We didn't even do it completely right, but it was still like one of the funnest times of my life.
They just have good restaurants. There's always a couple restaurants there that I found was so much fun, where they put all the seafood on the table.
Yeah.
I don't know if smash and crab or what it's called, but it's like lobster, crab, sausage, corn, potatoes, shrimp, and you just like crack it. That was a lot of fun. It's messy, but it's
that's how like you eat in Louisiana. Like my dad's side of the family. They're from there, and when we have like our big cookouts with like everybody, it's just a big old table,
I love
and they
Cajun
just
food.
cook like pounds and pounds and pounds of crab, crawfish, shrimp, and literally as it gets cooked, they just pour it out on the table. No plates,
So
no
good.
nothing.
I love Cajun food,
Just
dude. That's so
pour
good.
it out on the table.
That's
you
awesome.
just sit there and eat all day.
Oh yeah, it's good
It's
stuff.
wild.
Good stuff.
That is crazy. That's cool. Very, very cool.
But on the topic of crazy in this wild and ever changing world that we live in, what do you guys think about the politics and how politics are
We're getting political.
at the moment?
I tried to I consider myself to be a Republican, but I don't agree with a lot of Republican things.
Yeah.
I guess I'd be more of a libertarian. I try to stay in the middle. I'm always open to hear both sides, and I agree with things from both sides. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't want to put myself in one and say I am a devout this because I'm not. Because I agree, I have point of views on both sides, and I agree with some things on both sides. So it's just kind of like I stay in my own lane, I do my own thing, and I'm not very vocal
I
about it.
personally think both sides are both BS.
I think political parties are BS in the first place.
I think having only two political
Yeah.
parties is complete BS, and a lot of the stuff that goes on is really not for the benefit of like the people or parties. It's all everything, as we know, with this world revolves around money, and I think a lot of it is just a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I just don't believe either side really. And when you only have two parties, you force people to, oh no, I'm only this, or no, I'm
Yeah, see, I don't-
only this, and even though you can agree with both sides, it forces people like, okay, even though I'm just gonna go with this since
Yeah.
I'm this side or I'm this side. Versus say you had like 5 separate, because you may have Republican and Democrat, but within that you still have so many
Two
separate
different, yeah.
like ideologies, and I don't believe in the whole two-party system.
I also don't believe that you shouldn't be friends with somebody based on their political views.
Yeah.
I think just because I believe in something you don't doesn't mean we can't be friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like to speak about it. I kind of just like to do my own thing, but
I think
Always.
speaking about it is good because you have to hear the other side. You don't.
no, yeah.
You can't get nowhere without having those type of debates, and they're they're not the easiest debates to have.
Yeah.
But if you could have them with like a like straight mind, you know, people get so biased and say like,
An open mind. I wouldn't say a straight mind. I would
okay,
say
let's take
open.
like global warming. When people hear global warming, their mind autocorrects to just say I'm just trying to talk about the general topic of global warming, just global warming.
Yeah.
Some people's mind may straight autocorrect to liberals. I don't know what's other liberals like super standpoints. Liberals take away guns.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I promise you, I'm just trying to talk about
Yeah.
global warming, but it autocorrects to like,
It groups
oh,
things together.
you think global warming's real.
So
Oh,
therefore-
therefore you probably believe in all this other stuff. It's like, okay, listen, I'm just saying like maybe we should protect the environment a little bit more, and then but people's minds autocorrect to that like, okay, this person's already far right or far left, or I think we should keep our guns. Okay, no, this person now is a super.
Yeah. And I guess but it's also based on how you were raised. The household that you grew up in has a lot to do with your political views when you grow up. If that makes sense. Because your parents influence your every thought as a child.
Everything.
Like, I mean, school definitely has some influence, but like the way you hear your parents talk and the way your parents believe and the way you're taught has a million things to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, I don't know. It's very,
It's a hard thing
Very
to
different.
grasp, but I think social media is helping it because what a lot of people lack is empathy. Empathy. I'm still combining entropy with empathy. Empathy.
Okay.
A lot of people lack empathy, the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes
Yeah.
and see from their perspective. Just like what we talked about earlier, you may think in your head, okay, me and this person, like this should be a common knowledge. We should agree on this. Everybody in the world should agree on this. Until you get in that other person's shoes, then you're like, okay, maybe this isn't like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is exactly how things need to be. Like people see the world really, really different. So you have to, okay, now I see how you see the world. I've actually taken the time to understand. And then that has to go both ways. Then that person has to take the time to understand.
Yeah. How
But
you
people
feel.
don't want to take that time to really
Yeah.
do that. People want to, because it's a hard conversation to have, but people come in already shields up.
Yeah.
Not allowing just to admit when they're wrong or to admit when the other person's right, and you add the corruption, a little bit of corruption in there, and then you get this current political system that to me doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's a very, controversial topic's the best way to put it. Everybody has their own opinions on it, and everybody wants to voice their opinions, but nobody wants to look at it from other people's point of view.
And no one wants to really reach a middle ground. Or is there a middle ground?
Yeah.
Is it possible for us to reach a middle ground where we benefit society, or will selfish assets always be in the way?
I think personal beliefs and selfish aspects will always be a part of everyone's life. Just because you, whether or not you admit it, you always want to do what's best for you. It's always going to be your number one priority is going to be yourself. I don't know how kids are because I don't have them.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that feels like. But as of right now, it's always what's best for me at this exact point. It's not like, well, what's best for George? What can I do to make George's life better? I'm going to be there to help you out. But also it's what's going to progress myself? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of I don't think you can really take that out of the equation, if that makes sense.
So. But there's being selfish, doing what's best for yourself, and then there's taking that to a whole nother level.
I agree.
With big money, big corporation type stuff. How do you believe in the big corporation conspiracy theories and?
As in them controlling the government, or what? What kind of conspiracies?
In general, they'll having a lot of power in.
Oh, they definitely do.
Well, big corporations in general have a lot of power no matter where you live, because a country obviously money is a big part of how a country runs, and if Apple, stereotypically, if Apple is China's number one product and they're the ones reeling in the millions and trillions of dollars that China needs to survive, basically, they're gonna have some say. I think big companies, regardless of who owns the government and what party is represented, I think they have a say.
Oh,
for sure.
I definitely agree.
And let me say this real quick. People forget that there is a Green Party, there's Libertarian Party, there's Democratic Republic. There's I think there's four technically. There's 4 or 5 parties.
Yeah.
But obviously Democratic and Republic are the ones that run the show. I will say this though, and I posted on my social media yesterday. But the problem with society nowadays, this is the problem. I agree with what you said when someone says they believe in this, our minds actually go, and this is society's fault, our minds go, oh, that means you believe in all this. That means you're this. If I say I'm not going to say which party I am, but I'll say I'm not Libertarian. Or Green Party, I'll say not Green Party. If I believe in something, everyone's like, oh, you're the extreme of that. People picture the extremes of both parties and oh, you're this. People don't realize that just because someone believes in something doesn't mean they're that extreme. And so now in society today, yes, there's 2 parties that dominate, but what we do is we picture the reason this country's so split apart is we picture the extremes of both sides, and that yes, there are people everywhere, that no matter what country that are extremists in what they believe, but the vast majority of people are not extremists. They are, you vote for a party. Does it mean that I agree with everything? Not necessarily. But I'm just voting for it because I agree with most of, not all, but most of. So people need to get this extremist stuff out of their heads, realizing that, just because I say this doesn't mean I'm extreme with that. And they need to realize also that, I agree with what you're saying. This country's so divided because we, I posted yesterday, I said, my one final thought is don't let politics dictate friendships, relationships, or families, because at the end of the day, politics or not, everyone's still a person. You still need to treat someone with their character, with respect, because, not only because that maybe what your religious beliefs are, views, but that they're still people. politics shouldn't dictate. Yes, it's a big part of this country, but it shouldn't dictate, how I treat you or who am I friends with. Right, ethics. I posted yesterday, I'm not going to state my political beliefs because, I nowadays people get fired up about, oh, you believe this, I'm not talking to you. But I will say I have friends of different races, ethnicities, and beliefs, all that kind of stuff. And they're, at the end of the day, they're some of my best friends. Just because, been through a lot, been through whatever, and I don't do anything bad, just have been in my life for a while. But, we leave politics out of it. Just because politics nowadays is such a sensitive topic. And, this country was founded on, I would say, two-party system. I don't know how long we've had the four parties. But it was found on
But
two
do those
parties.
other two parties really count? Because they don't have an effect on anything.
They did. When you vote for candidates, they have for a long time. But people understand. People didn't have the extremist views that they have nowadays. People are so, it's a society of speak your mind, speak what you believe. It's very dangerous, by the way, because if we speak what we naturally think, we're gonna have many enemies. But
Yes, I agree
but
with that.
we, in a society of speak your mind, whenever we do, people get hate for it on both sides. No matter who you are, especially when I came from California, it's like, oh, speak your mind, tell me what you think. And then you're like, okay, well, here you go. And then they're like, oh, well, you're wrong. And it's like, whoa, hold on, you just said speak your mind. So we in a society where it's like, it's such a contradicting thing. So you add on the contradicting or you add on speak your mind, but then you get hated for it, to viewing extreme sides of both, no in between. And all of a sudden it's like, you have more hate than love in your heart. I'm not saying, love everything like 70s hippie movement. I'm just saying have some respect and admiration for other people. Like, you don't,
Or at least try to do what's right.
Right.
What's morally right, and then just go with that. And then also just who is there to say that, like, what is wrong and what is right?
There's not.
It's
beliefs.
There is no wrong. There really is no right.
Well, I mean,
well,
Okay.
it's based on what
technically,
you believe on.
okay, is killing someone wrong? Yeah, I think so. Yes.
To some people, yes. To some people, no.
Depends on.
But-
Are you killing them because they did something, or are you killing them because you want to? With that argument, I understand where you're coming from. Is killing somebody wrong, but then therefore, do you not believe in the death penalty?
Well,
So
and then that's where we get to that
Exactly.
conversation.
That's
Of,
where it's kind of.
is it right?
There's so many
It's-
little
it's-
odds and
it's like
ends that you
self-defense,
can't cover
right.
them all.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the problem is, in a country that welcomes so many different beliefs, which is fine. That's how you get in people to your country. There's so many, opinions and stuff that we can't go anywhere if we try to let everyone have. I'm not saying we can't let everyone have a say, because everyone does have a say and everyone should have a say.
Yeah.
But if we try, you cannot satisfy everyone in your life. You can't
can't
satisfy every
accommodate
friend. You can't, even in like relationships and marriage, you can't. Everyone cannot be 100% happy. That's not how.
Life is gonna have its
Right.
downs. Not
And
just
so this
its
problem
ups.
is like, the country's trying to make everyone happy now, and everyone's satisfied because that's the whole movement of be happy, and so it's not work. I mean, granted, like politics is dirty business. It always has been,
Oh yeah.
and I think it always will be. But
I'm fascinated by like the dirty business. I'm like,
I definitely want to learn it, and I definitely want to learn the ins and outs. I think it's entertaining for one.
it's very the
But-
stuff that you never know.
Yeah.
There's also harm in learning the things that you're not supposed to know, because that could affect the way you look at things completely.
It does, completely.
So it's kind of like I'd like to know what's happening, but at the same point, it's like, do I want to know?
I feel like I want to know just to be aware. That's one of those things it really just intrigues me. Like I spend all day just looking up stuff, research. Same with the Hitler stuff we were talking about on episode 1. Knowing what really happened to the Nazi Party after World War II, the fact that they were rebuilding and a lot of their higher up people escaped to Argentina. Did you know that there's over 300,000 descendants of Nazis living in South America?
Yeah.
That's
At-
insane.
They have cities. in South
Like
America that are
whole
just
cities
German.
of straight Germans.
Yeah.
At the end of World War II, it was over 10,000 of their like highest ranking officials. I'm talking all of Hitler's inner circle, the dude who was in charge of Auschwitz and the gas chambers, all that. They all escaped South America and lived out their lives.
Okay, so, first of all, it's crazy to talk about. I know after the war, we definitely killed a bunch of the Nazis and the
Took their
German
scientists.
soldiers and stuff. We that's why they had like the gun, the fire or what's it called, fire line or where like you line up a bunch of people but really one guy has the bullet and so
firing squad.
right, firing squad. That's what we did with them. But I was watching with my girlfriend and her dad, and we watched a documentary. I think it was on Netflix. There's a guy called Ivan the Terrible who ran like the death camps.
Yeah.
And there's actually some German death camp, like people who survived that live in the United States because, and I'll tell you this, and it's a really, really fascinating thing. Some Nazi, so when the war ended, Ford was opening up jobs. And so, when the war ended, United States, in that time period, the United States, hey, come in our country, we'll keep you safe. So, some Nazi generals and people in charge of death camps, were able to do that. They were getting away from it all, And so, they found jobs working in the Ford dealers in Detroit and working up there north.
Not even the Ford dealerships. Like, give it that the Nazis were horrible people. Their engineers and their scientists were geniuses.
Well, they were very smart, so we wanted to use that.
So it was either Russia was going to get them or we were going to get them.
Right.
So even our government, they took in a lot of
pre-Cold War, too.
Pre-Cold, and we used their knowledge and their findings, and they worked for us in the Cold War.
And so it was kept secret, basically, because it was like, if you release Nazi journals working in the United States, like, what the heck?
Working for the government,
right,
United States.
What the heck? So
that's
they
type
kept
of
it
stuff
secret.
You just can't tell.
Right, they kept it secret. But then we watched a documentary where this one guy who was turned out he wasn't Ivan Terrible, but he was in charge of like some death camps and some. He was one who I guess I don't know what they did, but was the one that triggered when they released the gas in the chamber.
Yeah. Which
technically makes you responsible for all those lives. Which thinking about that gives me chills. It's like, dang, can you imagine? Like, I don't know. That's terrible. But those people are still living in the United States. Like this guy, I think this documentary was made in the early 2000s, and I think he died in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that there isn't still, those guys in their late 80s, early 90s still living,
And then the ones who aren't living, they have, just like in South America, they have whole lines of descendants and family that is...
That's insane, dude.
And it's why, like, you kind of can't blame the families and stuff, but it's like, they just got away.
Yeah.
Right.
Got away with one of the worst things to ever happen on the planet.
Right, because it was their parents or their dad that did it. So you can't really blame them because they weren't really involved in it. But their parents were the ones that did the evil acts. So it's like you can't punish them, but it's like it's a sting. It's like, dang, they got away, like y'all said. So that's crazy.
It leads you to the question to like, okay, so that's one piece of history that kind of got left out. What else got left out?
Well, you could argue that. So now that we have that concept of the Nazis, you could say even like the Cold War, Russian spies in the United States, former Russian spies that maybe got away.
No, they're still here.
There's people that that managed to get away, but that's crazy. It's crazy to think about that, for sure.
Like, and even going back, like they were barely able to track down a lot of this stuff in like World War II, but like pre-World War II, I'm talking like Civil War, Americans' war for independence, like. There's untold stuff or stuff that
there's just lost
stuff
stories.
that just wasn't written down of what actually happened.
Lost stories, yeah.
Like, yes, we have our history books which are very skewed because we're reading our history books are written from the white American male. So what does the history books from the British American white male say? What does the history books from African male say about the same event?
Yeah.
Each thing is going to be totally different.
Just different point of views.
Different points of views, and different points of views are going to know different things. Yeah. And also each point of view is going to also leave out certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like once you start piecing together all of the points of views, you start seeing, okay, wait.
Also textbooks nowadays, like for high school kids, like they're definitely dumbed down because some high school kids couldn't even handle some of the atrocities that did happen. Like, they can't put all the terrible things that happen just because they're terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just kind of depends. I think everything's just... Yeah. There's a lot of history that's been lost or untold or is just too bad for the average human mind.
It's better off just never knowing about it.
I know my grandma has stories of that have been passed down from family members of, like, journals that I guess one of my relatives that fought in the Civil War kept, and they have them in a safe box up in where she lived in like a attic safe, like an actual safe. Those letters, and they've been preserved, and she's gonna show me them, and we've definitely talked about it multiple times, but it's just like, do I want to? Of course, I want to read it.
I think that stuff is so just cool.
I love history. I'm a history freak. I love it. I watched History Channel last night. It was not Civil War. I was talking about the Battle of Midway in World War II, but I think just the concept of like when I went to Boston, I loved it, and we went to Paul Revere's house, and I'm like, it'd be so cool to like see how society's changed and live in those different time periods, just to like see how their life is different and whether it be better or worse. And I've just been fascinated with like old time things. Life has changed throughout the years. I think that'd be really cool.
It's changed a whole lot.
And I love it in a way. Actually, I don't love everything, but I love the fact that you can see how it's changed, like different weapons, different time periods.
Definitely. Definitely.
One, I originally thought, oh, it'd be so cool to have. Now I have so much pressure and social media and to get away from all the drama, and I think it'd be so cool to get away from that.
Social media,
but there's
so
also
drama food.
Oh my gosh, and not only just that, but like media and everything's just there's so much negativity in the world, and like I wish I could live in a time period like even my parents, even before that, where there wasn't social media, where there wasn't as much media, where there probably wasn't as much drama. But then I got to think, okay, their stress was different from our stress.
It was a different type of.
It's a different like 5 generations ago. Their drama was did you hear so and so got shot going to the supermarket, or I don't know, and then it was like their stress was finding food on the table for that day, and making it without AC, without refrigerator, that was their kind of stress. Ours is like, social media, and not saying ours, not downgrade ours, because anything that's stress to a person, like each person different, but
it's a different type of problem.
Right, and so that's why I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to go back to those time periods because it was different time,
Yeah.
With me, I don't want to
have
go
a jean
back.
jacket and like this. I would have.
I don't want to go back nowhere because this is the best time to be a black man and living. Anything going back is just gonna be terrible. And also like with the stress in our generation is different. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm not saying it's better, but it is a different problem, and it all comes from we have these like now that we're as a whole living, the quality of life is so much better, and we have these false realities of like the perfect life and happy Hollywood true stories, love it at last, like all that type of stuff. Like even though a lot of that stuff is very like fake, like it's very like Hollywood is very movie like, but we all expect that. And then you have social media where people only post the best parts about their lives, the highlights of their lives. So you have our generation who sits here and consumes this social media, and they think, okay, this person has a perfect life. This person has a perfect life.
And you see billboards.
Why don't I have a perfect life?
And you see billboards of the greatest, fittest looking dudes, good looking face, and the girls see the pictures like the skinny, good looking girl with a nice body, and it's like, it's all a false reality. And people, I think, are nowadays starting to get an idea of that.
I still think we're a little bit far out from that.
Even when we understand that it's wrong, even when we know it's fake, we can't help in our minds to think, oh, that it would be cool to have the big muscles. It would be cool to look that way, And for a reason that I'm sure it's different for everyone, but in the end, we still have that it would be cool thought, even though we know better. Even though we know, okay, there's definitely like he's not that strong in real life. We know there's computer. We know it's makeup, but we can't help. Our natural selves are like, whoa,
Yeah.
And it's Hollywood, and I came from that area. It's bad.
It is bad.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of good looking people in Southern California, but a lot of it's just like, oh, I need to do this because this is what the Kardashians do. I need to do this because this is what I see on media and this is what I see from athletes. And, people, it's giving people, people are more worried about what they look on the outside than how they act on the inside. And I don't mean to drop a bar like that, like, but like, same with like everyone's so judgmental. Like it's not our job to judge because that ultimately, like, I'm a Christian, so to me, like God's the only one that I could judge.
Yeah.
He's the one that judges me. So it's not, and I'm not perfect. So what am I to say what you are doing wrong when I'm not perfect?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
But again, in a world where in a country where we have multiple beliefs, we can't say don't judge because some people aren't believers, and so. That it goes. Everything circles back to you can't satisfy everyone.
Yep.
And with political parties, with Hollywood, with there's always gonna be the people that believe this way, and so we have this victim.
Victim time.
There's a lot of
everybody
victim.
wants to be a victim.
There's a lot of victim mentality in the United States.
Who's the biggest victim?
Exactly, and so it's like, oh well, you hurt me. Well, okay, I'm gonna make you happy. It's like, well, then you're making him happy. Why can't I? And so it's you can't satisfy everyone. And so if some people are getting upset, and I'm not saying politics is perfect. I'm not saying people are perfect. I don't think politics will be perfect, but you can't satisfy everyone in a country. And when you try to, that's when people get communistic and they're like, oh, everyone's the same. No, there's no one equal, and then the government gets like overthrown. Or people
I think some of the yes, there's real problems, and then there's people who don't know how to take self accountability.
Yeah.
To me, with the whole like body image and like oversized, fat, obese people, if we're gonna be honest, and we're gonna keep it honest, people are literally obese, hurting their body and dying, but they want
body positivity.
But I think it's like, okay, so if
Right.
I get fit and I keep a nice frame and I exercise regularly and I eat well to take care of my body so I don't become obese, why are you getting mad at me? Because
Right.
or like for instance, we have a dance team, and for the dance team, all the girls are fit girls who can do the dance moves because it's a lot of dancing. There was a big commotion that plus size women wanted to be on the dance team, but in the rules of like being on the dance team, it says you must be an able-bodied fit person. And I feel like, and they made a big deal like, okay, you're not allowing plus size women on the dance team, blah blah blah.
You do see it,
but that's something you have to work for. You don't just get to be an NFL athlete. You have to train, get your body. That's what part of the process. But nobody wants to take the self accountability. Like, okay, maybe I should exercise more. Maybe I should improve my diet. Yeah. Maybe I should do the hard work, which our generation hates really working because sadly we've been given everything for the most part.
Right.
So no one wants to do the hard work to, okay, let me work my way up and actually put in the work. Mm-hmm. We gave out too many 8th place trophies getting good, so we always expect an award. We always got participation trophies, and at least you tried, even though you got last. Good job, here's a trophy. So now everybody always expects to win, and when reality,
you get our feelings hurt, and then everything happens, and a commotion, and then it's all a circle. I will say I agree. I do have family members and cousins or whatever that are overweight, but there is the biological side of it, which yes, some people are.
I get let me put it. I get everybody's not gonna have like a perfect frame. I get that.
But I will say this though. You're right in the sense if you're like cheerleading. I think I have seen personally a little more, like they're going for not the skinny perfect body for cheering. I have seen some more variance and body size. But I will say this definitely, like people don't say obviously too skinny. Like too skinny isn't really healthy for you. But people don't say that we want you to be skinny because it'll look better. We're saying we want you to be like we're caring for your health. We want you to be longer because I've had family.
Obesity is a serious.
I've had families that I've had heart attacks and I have heart disease in my family. So to us, like worrying about weight and worrying about stuff is important. So you naturally want to care about that. And so it's not like we are trying to get you to lose weight to look better. And right now we're praising
disease that kills people.
Right, we're praising women like, oh, you're beautiful and you're 350 pounds and you're sitting on the couch. Like, no, maybe on the inside you're beautiful, but on the outside you need to get healthier. And
it has nothing to do with like we're talking down. It's like it's a real health thing. Like,
right, and I'm not right. I love everyone. Like I'm a person. I care for everyone, and I as we were in my faith, like it's natural. Like I want to care for everyone and love everyone because that's who I am. That's what I'm called to do. Then you have to
be realistic. Right. You can't set these false realities with people. Like, yes, in life, if you didn't take care of yourself and you allowed yourself to get out of shape, don't expect to still be put on this pedestal.
Look, I just want you to live longer. I want to be around you longer. I just want you.
I want to help you, and I know there's someone who can make a real good argument against this. They'll probably make a real good argument. But I'm just saying, with my standpoint, you gotta have that accountability, like.
Right. I'm not saying you gotta be ripped and perfect body, like, you gotta have the perfect
everybody's not gonna be ripped and no. That's
no,
not
I'm just saying, like, if you could lose some weight and or if you're too skinny, have someone help you gain weight. You know,
Just be in good health.
right? Exactly. You know, and again, it's all going back to the side of we're trying to be happy. Well, cheeseburgers and pizza definitely make me happy, but is it good for me? No, it's not. You know, I gotta limit that.
Is it hard to
Is
stop
it-
eating cheeseburgers?
is it hard? Yeah.
Yes, it's real hard to eat healthy.
But you know, I want to be again. I can't control when my time on this earth is up. But for the meantime, I can control what I consume that'll help or hurt me. And so, for someone who wants to see their family, or for someone maybe if you don't want to have a family, you just want to have a job or whatever your case may be.
Yeah.
You know. But of course, there's always gonna be the argument of, oh, well, you can't tell me what to do. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you the side effects of what you're going to do, positively or negatively. So, yeah, it's definitely a topic. Yeah, I don't support the a true woman has this great bodily figure and a true man is a ripped
Whoa. Yeah.
But I will say that being fit does have its benefits.
General health. That's all. It's
Right.
simple health.
Exactly.
That's one of those things. Like you would think people would think like, okay, let me be healthy. Yes, it's gonna be hard, especially if you already passed that threshold of being extremely obese. Yes, it's gonna be hard, but it's literally your health. So when people say like that's unhealthy, like it doesn't look good, they try to get mad at the people when it's like, okay, when are you gonna say, okay, maybe this is my fault. Maybe I took the past 8 years of my
We're back. Hello, everyone.
We're
I
back.
teleported back in.
Battery's
We're
about
back.
to die, so we're gonna make this fast. We talked about a lot of good stuff. It was good seeing you, Tyler.
Yeah, dude. Always. Thanks for having me, bro.
Corbin back on the show.
Good to see you.
Back. I'm back on the road, yeah. I'm back on the road, back on the road. I laugh with my bros, yeah. As I watch it unfold, Wasn't speaking my language.